Welcome to the second live town hall with Asia Rugby President Qais Al Dhalai. Our open dialogue continues today, so we're welcoming everybody to join the conversation. That's whether you're a fan, a player, journalist, coach, referee, supporter. If you're in rugby, love rugby, this is your chance now to engage directly with the President of Asia Rugby. And I'm going to welcome him today. It's President Qais Al Dhalai. Good morning, Qais.
Good morning, Daniela. Good morning, everyone. Good morning,
Thank you
Daniela.
so
Good
much
morning,
for
everyone.
taking time again to Thank you for taking time to engage with everybody out there today. I just wanted to kick off by saying this weekend, a really big weekend, while we are waiting for people to join and throw some questions at you. What does this weekend mean in terms of men's 15s rugby in Asia?
Well, uh, Daniela, when we talk about the Asian continent and the biggest continent on earth and managing a sevens, two form of the game, sevens and 15s, I think the nature of the job is not easy. And you need, as a leader, you need to articulate a comprehensive view on the region. And this requires a lot of in-depth analysis and feedback from the mutual feedback from the continental body with the member federations to identify the suitable products that satisfy our members. At the end of the day, we are here to serve the member federations, but I think after the first term, I've been there from 2020 to 2024. We have observed potential products, mainly sevens, and I don't wish to go into details. But if someone want to have more details, why are we in some kind of wording preferring the sevens game over the 15th game? We have a list of reasons why the executive committee and the management team reached this conclusion. Definitely 15 aside is the main game. At least, I mean, the least reason would be that the global ranking is based on the 15th game. We still have 15th game in Asia, and today, I mean, 2025 is a very special year. It is the qualifier year for the Rugby World Cup 2027 in Australia. The winner of the Asia Rugby Emirates Championship will be qualified directly to Australia, whereas the runners-up will play with the runners-up of Africa in a playoff game. So it is a very interesting year. We are very excited. We have the Southeast Games, the Sea Games at the end of the year. We have a full-fledged of calendar that will start after a few days in Colombo, a match between Sri Lanka and Colombo, so between Sri Lanka and Malaysia, and it will carry on all the way until December. So we are all excited about the calendar of 2025.
If you look at this game, especially this weekend, instead of just saying, Sri Lanka is playing Malaysia, maybe people just think Sri Lanka is playing Malaysia. How big is this game and what does it mean for Asia?
Indeed, it is. It's not only a game by an MF game. It is a big event for the continental body, and it is directly linked to the pathway for the Rugby World Cup 2027, and playing in Colombo is always an exciting moment. We expect a full seated stadium. Never forget that rugby is the second largest sport in Sri Lanka after cricket. It used to be the sport number one 40, 50 years ago. So we would all anticipate a big clash between Malaysia and Sri Lanka. let's hope that it will demonstrate the beauty of the Asian 15-a-side game, and we are looking forward to the match. I think it is a big match for everyone. I mean, for global audience as well, because the winner of the playoff will join the other three teams: Hong Kong, China, United Arab Emirates, and South Korea. So we are all excited about the match on the 19th of April.
Thank you so much for explaining that, case. We are welcoming everybody to send your questions directly to the president. Here's your chance now. Like I mentioned, this is our second live town hall. We did one before as well. And in promoting going up to the show that we are doing today, we did mention that you have a very open door policy. And it takes a lot to go on screen and welcome. You never know who is going to be joining. Where did this open policy philosophy come from, and why do you continue doing it?
It is one of the guiding principles of Asia Rugby: equality, transparency, and accountability. And this is how we operate in the regional association. I think it's essential and important for the leadership of Asia Rugby to be open and to adopt an open door policy. And we are always following that way to inform our audience and our member federations on what's going on. Actually, whether it is a positive news or a negative news, that does not matter to us, as long as we are following a good guiding principle of transparency. Because someone might subjectively define transparency as something that always should be positive. To us as a leadership, it's the other way. It's about informing and disclosing whatever happening in the regional association to the wider audience. And that's always happened and will be happening at least until the end of our term in 2028.
Thank you so much, Qais. And again, thanks for always taking time, like you said, keeping that door open and to speaking to anybody that likes to know more about Asia Rugby. I would say again that anybody that has questions, please put it in our chat. You can contact us directly, and the president is ready to answer any of the questions out there. Mr. President, while we wait for more questions, I think there was really big news over the last couple of weeks where all over the world, people were asking, is a World Cup going to happen in 2035? Is it going to happen in 2039? Is it something that Asia can look forward to? If anybody that's there that maybe did not hear the news yet, which I really doubt because it was all over, can you maybe shed a bit of light from your side on that big news and what the plans are?
Obviously, the Rugby World Cup 15's men's is one of the top sporting mega events worldwide. I mean, when you look at the statistics and the commercial audience, commercial volume, and the footfall on the stadia, it is always the Olympics games. Then you have other four sports. We have FIFA World Cup, we have Rugby World Cup, we have Formula One, we have NBA. So those are the five mega sporting event worldwide. So going to the concept and the information that's spread out during the last couple of weeks about the hosting of the Rugby World Cup 2035 and 2039, I think logically the first time that the World Cup came to Asia was in 2019. It was in Japan, a very successful event, and Japan staged a brilliant event. And 2023 was in France, also a spectacular event. 2027 awarded to Australia, which is Oceania. 2031 will be going to the United States of America, which is North America, for the first time in rugby history. So when you talk about the following editions, which is 2035, 2039, definitely as a president of Asia Rugby, I would like the World Cup to go back again to Asia. Actually, it's not important to me where it will be going, whether it will be going to India or to Saudi Arabia, or it will go to United Arab Emirates or to Korea, Thailand. Actually, does not matter to us. But what matters to us, that we bring back the Rugby World Cup to the continent. So without neglecting that there are other nations also interested. I mean, as a normal audience, as a normal fan, there were some news about Spain willing to host the 2035 Rugby World Cup. And there are news also that Japan want to host it again. And also the proposed joint bid from Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and the United Arab Emirates. And even me, if you ask me, as an additional proposed potential bid, might be from South America. South America has never hosted the Rugby World Cup. Argentina, one of the top 8 nations on the global ranking. So why not? If South America consider hosting the Rugby World Cup in 2035 or 2039, I think that's a successful and sensible move. Also, you can talk about South Africa. I mean, the last time South Africa hosted was in 1995. So why not to go into Africa again? So it's still open, but that's the exciting moves in rugby. Each continent, each nation want to stage mega event in their boundaries, and let's wait and see where this will take us. I think it's still premature because still the tendering process for the Rugby World Cup 2035 have not yet started.
Thank you, Mr. President. We have a question here from YouTube, and it says, are you supporting Rugby Premier League India just like the World Cup?
Definitely. At least it is happening in Asia. So Rugby Premier League is an aspirational concept. And hats off to the Indian Rugby Football Union, between brackets Rugby India. They have, I mean, personally, being close to Rugby India, I worked very closely with the President Rahul Bose and with the Secretary General Gerald Prabhu, and I knew that this concept was there since 2023, and this event scheduled to happen in 2024, which is last year. But for some circumstances, the Rugby India decided to defer the staging the event to 2025 this year. I think it is the right move. Bringing and gathering top-class rugby sevens player into one of the Asian countries, India, is itself a successful story without even starting the event. So I will be attending the event. Definitely, we are supporting the event because as per the hosting approval, sanctioning of events should come from the regional association and from the international association. So we already sanctioned the event, and we are part of the event. We work very closely with the organizers, Rugby India, to support them with the required technical personnel. So we are all looking forward to June. I think the Indian Rugby Premier League will be a really successful event, and it will set a precedent that nothing is impossible. Bringing big names to the Asian market was always there historically, and now we are having another precedent with the sevens game, and that emphasizes what I have just said in the beginning of the live session, that Asia Rugby, when I say Asia Rugby, it is the 36th member federation, want to play sevens. So having this aspirational event is really excites everyone, and it really excites me as a leader.
Thank you so much, Qais. We just have a message saying, hello, Mr. President. I hope that you are doing well. Thank you for that. That's very kind. Also, we have another message saying, all the best and success for you, boss. And I think such small messages are really important because I don't think many people know how much it takes, how much work you put in, what is being done on a daily basis. Farik Haza is also asking, are you going to visit Iraq soon?
Yeah, thank you, President Farid. As someone might not know, Dr. Farid is the president of Iraq Rugby, and he's one of the really hard worker individuals within the continent. Of course, I visited Iraq 2 years ago, and it was in the early stages of the union, the federation, when it was created. And now in 2 years time, this federation has came a long way, and they played internationally. They were part of the Arab Rugby Sevens this year in Alexandria in Egypt in 2025. They were also part of the event last year in Taif in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. So they have a women's team. They played also at the Asian level. So the federation itself is really progressing very well, and that's also one of our mandate is to focus on all emerging federations and stand with them step by step until they became a really mature federation, which they are at the moment. They are applying for World Rugby Associate membership, and they have our support. So answering the question, hopefully very soon, we will be visiting the Iraq again. And someone might think, when you talk about individuals like Dr. Farik, the president of Iraq Rugby, or who we can name a lot, Rahul Bose, the president of Rugby India, a lot of others, individuals across Asia, they are all volunteers. So we are not paid. So when it comes to me as a president of the regional association, at the end of the day, I'm doing that out of my passion and the love of the game. Nobody forced me to do it. It is the desire of the member federation who elected me. So we do that on a voluntary basis. I'm not paid. So I do that out of my time, out of my family time. But I enjoy doing that, and I love the sport, and I love my sport, rugby. So I think we have came a long way since November 2019, and there are many plans and many objectives that were set out in the strategic plan 2020-2024 that we already achieved, and we are now in progress of finalizing our new strategic plan 2025-2028 in alignment with World Rugby strategic plan, which is yet to be published by World Rugby. We are still in the stage of International Federation and Continental Federation working together to fine-tuning World Rugby strategic plan, which will impact all the regional associations' strategic plans. So it's very exciting for me and for individuals who are volunteers, and we are here to serve the game.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just to add on to that, we have a comment from Salman Sheikh. We all know him very well. He's saying, you're walking the talk. We can do better, but together, way to go, Mr. President. So that's just a nice comment over there for you from Salman. Also, what you said on Iraq, we have from Farik. He says, you have success and lasting success in your best work in rugby. To all the best to you and congratulations to you.
Thank you.
We have a question from Rohan. He's saying Sri Lanka is hosting New Zealand under 85 kilogram national team in May of 2025. What do you think? What is the future of this category for Asia Rugby?
So it is an out of box idea, and I really thanks the organizers of the event. It might be very well known in New Zealand and in the other territories of the world, but in Asia it's the first time to be happening. I will be attending the event myself, and we support the event because at the end of the day, bringing ex-players, whether they are from the 7th game or 15th game, to any territory in Asia, it is a success to us as a leadership, the executive committee, or to the management team. So the future of the idea, I can't comment on the future of idea, but presently at the moment, it is a good idea to activate different forms of rugby. So similarly, we still have beach rugby, which is identified in World Rugby bylaws, and it is in the law of the game. So beach rugby, some kind, is a type of sport that we did not yet tap in. And as a continental body, we still have beach rugby in the pipeline, and we are waiting for the right moment to stage the first Asian rugby, beach rugby. So there are still different concepts of the game, and we will be exploring them in the near future and stage them if possible. So one of them is what Sri Lanka is doing, which is the New Zealand 85 kilos national team against their peers in Sri Lanka. So well done to the organizers, and we look forward to this exciting event.
Thank you, Mr. President. You mentioned beach rugby now. You said there will be a right moment when when Asia looks to take it forward and really make it something big. What must happen for the right moment to come and for that to happen?
Great. It's a good question and straight to the point. What are we waiting to have a right moment is the required funding. And because beach rugby as a form of the game does not create or does not have a pathway to a World Rugby event. So in sevens, previously we have the Rugby World Cup sevens, and we have the HSBC 7 series. In 15s, we have the Rugby World Cup men's, and we have the Rugby World Cup women, and then we have the under 20 championship. Previously, we have the under 20 junior trophy. So what I'm trying to say that each regional competition must have a pathway to an international event. At the moment, it's not the case with beach rugby. So first of all, it's funding. Second reason, it does not fall within the international calendar, but that does not stop that it is in the law of the game. And there are many other federations and private organizers still staging beach rugby across the world, in South America, in Spain, in Portugal. So also some part of Asia. We as Asia Rugby received a couple of requests, one from Rugby India, from Iran Rugby. They wanted to host a beach rugby in Iran. And as I recall, there was also a couple of other requests from Southeast region to host this kind of event. Still, we are exploring that. If we have the required funding, why not? We will stage it right away, because having a beach rugby on sandy beaches is always exciting, and it's a different ambience, different atmosphere. So we are waiting for the right time, and it is in the pipeline. It is in our mind.
Thank you, President Qais. We have a question from Binod Tamang. It comes from Facebook. He says, "Hello, Mr. President. Happy to see you here. I have some inquiries for Mr. President, and my inquiries is there any further plan for coaches development programs? If possible, Asia Rugby can do coaches exchange programs as developing their skills or any other.
Okay, thank you, Binod, for the question. I think annually we have the training and education calendar, and we always communicate with the 36 member federation sometime in the fourth quarter of the previous year to collate and gather all the required courses by those 36 federation. So, for example, in 2025, we already published in our website the training and education courses and the calendar, the planner, and we stage event in different territories. We have coaching courses, level 1, level 2, level 3. We have match officials, level 1, level 2, level 3. We have sighting commissioner courses. We have judicial officer courses. Sometimes we have super weeks, and we select different cities where we host a super week. Super week means that we stage couple of courses from different verticals, coaching, match officials, judicial officers. So we create a calendar over a week, and we call it super week. So from a perspective of staging and training courses, we're already doing that, and every year we improve. So we have the data analysis and the information. Like, for instance, I always recall this when we came into leadership in late 2019 and in 2020, when COVID pandemic hits the world, we had an analysis on the match officials, the referees across Asia. At that time, we identified a weakness, a gap in Central Asia. So at that time, there was no level 2 or level 3 referee in Central Asia. And when I say Central Asia, it is Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, and Kyrgyzstan. So our management team and the referees manager worked very hard, and I would like to thank from this forum our ex-employee George Danapal from Singapore. He has done a great job in 2020 until 2024. We worked very hard to improve the referees in Central Asia, and now we are proudly having more than one referee from Central Asia. And now our referees manager, Dilroy Fernando, is carrying on the journey of George Danapal, and we are moving forward step by step. So we are improving on every stream, every vertical of the game. Having a coaching exchange program depends on the federation. If a federation, for instance, Nepal Rugby, want to do exchange program with Qatar Rugby, we can facilitate and moderate the relationship. It all depends on the member federation, and we are always ready to assist the exchanging programs within Asia. We have done that cross-continental. So we have signed an agreement with Rugby Africa to exchange referees, and we already did that. So a couple of our referees went to Rugby Africa to officiate match, and vice versa. They visited us in Asia. So we are proceeding very well on that aspect as well.
Thank you. We have a comment coming from Facebook and a question from Rishal Shaikh. It says, "Greetings, sir. Hope you are well. When do you think we can have a Pakistan-India series, if not either country, possibly at a neutral venue?"
Interesting. I think looking at the political scene, and historically, it's not only rugby, it's cricket, it's football. So when there is always opponent between India and Pakistan, we face many challenges to play the match on either territories. But it's possible if India and Pakistan play in other sport, in cricket, why not in rugby? So we are always open to this. and to stage this match in a neutral venue if it is required. And we are going to work closely with both federations and both governments and the Olympic committees in both countries to make this a reality. At the end of the game, next year, Lahore in Pakistan is hosting the South Games, and Rugby Sevens is amongst the program. So I would see the Indian rugby team flying to Lahore to play the South Games. So it is happening, it happened, and it will happen in the future. But answering the question, whether should be in a neutral venue or one of their territories, I think it's possible on any of the three options. And I can't see any big challenge, except that we need to work closely with the federations and with the Olympic committees and government from a continental body perspective.
Thank you for that. We have another question, or asking you to give a message in the UAE.
Yeah, well, I mean, my message is always to the youngster and the young rugby players. Let us not forget that Asia as a continent is not a rugby-oriented continent. If you compare Asia with Oceania, yes, Oceania, you can say it's a rugby-oriented continent. In Asia, we have a lot of very popular sports. We have soccer, we have badminton, we have cricket in the sub-peninsula. So my message to the youngster: always chase the dream, because being a rugby player has always an advantage. Rugby is the only sport in the world that any shape of any human being will fit playing rugby. Rugby 15s, the forwards are different than the backs. The wings are different than the scrum halves. So Rugby 15s offers this opportunity that any shape of your body, you still can play rugby. So my message to the youngster: always chase the dream. It is brilliant to represent your nation, your country, and it is an amazing sport. The values of rugby is really not replicated in other sport. With all my due respect, it is. I mean, no one can forget that as the nature of sport. It is a well physically contested sport. But when the final whistle comes, both teams come together and they shake each hand together. And so I think rugby is an amazing sport. It teaches all the youngster how to be an amateur person, how to control your emotions, and how to be a good player. You always need to learn from your teammates. It's a team sport. It's not an individual sport. You can't score yourself, whether 7s or 15s. Your team should support you in the scrum. You can't go to scrum alone. It's a teamwork, and it is really a good example of a sport that offers each athlete the values, the passion, and it offers each athlete the opportunity to be accepted with any shape, with any weight of the human being. So that's my message to all youngsters across Asia.
That's beautiful, Mr. President. Thank you so much. We're going to now go over to questions from Jonathan Trompeto Borden. He has 3 questions lined up, and I'm going to put them all in one. The first one is: when will you stop importing Fijians to play rugby for you? This question from Jonathan is: when will you publish audited accounts for UAE-RF and Asia Rugby? And lastly, Jonathan is also asking, why is the UAE-RF the only developed rugby federation who charges the grassroots clubs for every player they register. Every other union pays money to the clubs for each player they sign up. So those are the three questions from Jonathan. If you want me to go to the beginning again, I'm more than happy to, Mr. President.
No, I just remember them very well. So regarding the first question, I am the president of Asia Rugby. So the interview today is about Asia Rugby, but giving transparency as one of my ethos, I will answer the question. I don't believe that the wording of importing Fijians is the right word. To me, it's a bit arrogance to call them importing Fijians. Fijians is like Emiratis, is like British, is like Thais, like Koreans. They are human beings and they have every opportunity to play in every part of the world. So exploring their pathway in another country is their right, whether they go to New Zealand, and there are many examples in New Zealand. We can't call New Zealand rugby importing Fijian players, right? So going back to the question, whether they come to the UAE to play for the national team, I think that's their right. And I think this is the sole discretion of the UAE Rugby Federation, as long as it falls with the World Rugby Regulation. So we welcome everyone into United Arab Emirates. It's a country of tolerance and coexistence, and they play, and Fijians and South Africans and British, Irish, the Africans, they play in the UAE national team from long time ago. It's not something that we created or off the top of our head. It's even before we came as the leaders in the UAE Rugby Federation during the Arabian Gulf Rugby Football Union. So that's only a bit of history, and to put things on the right context. Also, giving them any kind of nationality from any part of the world the chance to play in any Asian country, whether it is Malaysia or Sri Lanka or Japan or Korea or UAE or Qatar. I think it is a privilege for any player from across the continent to come and play in Asia. So I think it is a very positive move that Asia is preserved as a good hub for players from outside the continent to come. So I would always support this to bring good talents from other continents and play in Asia. So that's the answer to the first question. The second question is regarding the financial audits of Asia Rugby and EU Rugby. I will answer the first question about Asia Rugby. Definitely, our financial audit statement are audited by an audit company, both in the UAE and in Hong Kong, China, and it is disclosed every year in the annual general meeting, and it is adopted and passed by the General Assembly, who are the 36-member federation. Regarding the UAE Rugby Federation audit statement, definitely we have our audit statement since the inception, since 2009, and when the UAE Rugby was incepted by the government, and our financial statement always circulated to two organizations, the top two organizations in the country, the Ministry of Sport and the UAE National Olympic Committee, and all the numbers are clarified to them, and there is nothing to be hidden. Okay. And the third question regarding the Rugby Federation, I think that's a misconception. It's a false information, a false question, and I would urge Jonathan to have his homework very well before asking the question.
Thank you, Mr. President, and I hope that clarifies a lot for Jonathan, who had these questions. We have a question from Rishal, or first a comment with Rizwan Malik, Vice President from Asia Rugby. With the success of the 2019 Rugby World Cup in Japan, what is Asia Rugby's vision and a roadmap for bringing the tournament back to Asia, and how are member unions being supported to build the infrastructure and rugby culture needed to host such a global event?
Thank you, Vice President Rizwan. I think it's a good question. Asia Rugby roadmap, and as I said earlier, we have our strategic plan, which is now under progress to fine-tune our strategic plan in alignment with the global body, World Rugby. And one of our role is to encourage all member unions to host the pinnacle event of World Rugby. I mean, previously, Thailand Rugby Union expressed interest to host the Rugby World Cup Sevens. The United Arab Emirates proudly hosted the Rugby World Cup Sevens in 2009. And Japan proudly hosted Rugby World Cup 2019, 15s. So Asia already hosted the top pinnacle events of World Rugby, whether it is Rugby World Cup 15s or Rugby World Cup 7s. And how do we encourage the member federation? I think we encourage them with our expertise, with our technical delegates, and to work closely with the member federation and their respective government to host those kind of mega events. Now, if you look at the HSBC Sevens World Series, out of the 7 destinations, there are 3 hosted in Asia. And that's emphasized how Asia as a continent economically is very healthy. So money comes from Asia, whether from West Asia, the Gulf countries, or from East Asia. So if you talk about economy, I think Asia has a very healthy economy. If you talk about politics, I think has a very stable political scene. I mean, the Gulf countries are very stable. Central Asia is very stable. South Asia is very stable. Southeast stable. East Asia, Japan, Korea, and all the countries, China stable. So working with the member federation and their respective government is key to have a successful potential bid for 2035 or 2039, Rugby World Cup 15 aside. So this is how I envisage working closely with the member federation and how we support them.
We have one from Mohammed Afif that comes through on YouTube. Hi, sir. I want to know why Sri Lanka is not getting much international matches, while some teams from other continents are getting much more matches than us, which are ranked below us. Can we have any solutions?
Well, again, it might not be understandable by the general audience and the general fan that for a country to play international tests or international fixture depends always on the member federation itself. So Sri Lanka Rugby Union need to request international fixture. Asia Rugby always stage an annual events, the competition calendar, and those events within our calendar are servicing all member federation, 15s or 7s, men's or women, boys or girls. So we try to cater all kind of age group and both genders and every single federation. Now, if a specific country, like for instance, United Arab Emirates or India or Sri Lanka or Korea or China or Thailand want to play more rugby, it depends on the federation itself. Apart from what we offer as a continental body, they still has the freedom and the autonomy to play with the other countries or cross-continental.
Thanks for that, and I hope that answers the question over there. We had one from Rishal Sheikh as well. What are the key challenges and strategies for developing women's rugby across the diverse cultures of Asia? And what are the possibilities for a women's series in South Asia?
I agree. I echo what Rachel just said. I think Asia is the one of the toughest continent on earth when it comes to the multicultural, multi-religions, multi-beliefs, multi-languages. So being the president or the elected executive committee of this span of territory is not easy. Now, going back to her question of female empowerment, I think Asia has done a great job in empowering female athletes, and whether it is at the player level or at the administration level. So we have couple of since 2022 until last year, we have a lot of individuals, female individuals from Asia, were being promoted and winning the Capgemini World Rugby Scholarship. So we empower female athletes to play rugby by encouraging and funding, sub-funding a couple of unions to roll out female program. This is from a participation level. From an administration level, we always concentrate on the board members of different federations across Asia with their current academic qualification, their experience in the board, and their experience in rugby, and then we let them apply for the scholarship, which is the Capgemini World Rugby Scholarship, to study a proficient course and then be certified with the appropriate sport management certification. So we try to encourage all athletes to play rugby through staging Get Into Rugby programs. Get Into Rugby programs is the development tool for each federation to popularize rugby across the country and encourage, attract players, whether they are male or female, to join rugby. So we have Get Into Rugby programs. We have we fund special projects in different countries, and we encourage them to join the academic program to excel their competency and be a good leader in the future. We are very proud to have a couple of female being president of the member federations across Asia, and we will pursue this in the coming 4 years during our term.
Thank you very much. And I think this will probably be one of the last questions. Will there be a world championship for rugby in an Arab country in the next of years?
Yeah, I think he means Rugby World Cup. I think I have answered this question in details, and the simple answer, as I have written on X, previously Twitter, that nothing is impossible. I mean, I have answered every single question on X or on Facebook. I am a kind of person who never say, oh no, I won't answer this. I just answer all the questions that I receive through every social media platform, very openly and very transparently. Actually, I don't fear to face the audience, because I am very sure that whatever we do in Asia Rugby is the right thing. We might have some differing views, but at the end of the day, we come to the table and we take the right decision. So this is how Asia was operating and will be operating.
Thank you, Mr. President. And we just have some nice comments before we wrap up. Yusuf Shaka, we know him. He's saying he's very, very proud of you. Thank you, Yusuf. Also, it doesn't really say a name. It's from YouTube, but he's saying that you are the best Federation President. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
From those comments, Mr. President, I think we've been running for just over 50 minutes. We all know 50 minutes in your world is a lot. So again, thank you so much for taking the time and answering all the questions, being transparent. And I'm sure within a few weeks or a few months' time, we're going to be doing the third session of this town hall. Thank you, Rizwan, for saying great work, Mr. President. So that's a comment for our president as well.
Thank you, Daniela. Thank you, my team. Before I conclude this live session, there are a couple of words I need to put into the live session. I would like really to thank my executive committee. I know how hard to work with someone like me. I don't have any objection for any comment or from any member union or from any fan that we should answer. I think we are accountable to every member federation. We are accountable to the general audience. So thanks once again to my executive committee. They have been very supporting to the union. They are very supportive to me, myself. I would like to thank also the management, my CEO, our CEO, Benjamin Van Royan, and all the staff of Asia Rugby. You are really heroes to run and to administer and to govern this sport. It's a team sport, Olympic sport, growing sport, and in a very tough continent with a multi-religions, multi-languages, multi-beliefs, multicultural. So well done to my team, Asia Rugby management team, and also to the member federation, the 36. I think it was an honor to me and to my executive committee to be elected for the term 2024-2028. And I promised, as I promised them before, I promised them again on the live session, as there is nothing to be hidden. I will be working day and night to make this sport a very successful sport and to make all the dreams coming true as much as possible with our available resources, whether they are technical resources or monetary resources. We will try alongside my executive committee and management to make them reality, and never ever believe that this sport will not be a very prominent sport in Asia. Soon it will be a very prominent sport in Asia, and I can foresee this in the near future. So thank you once again, and I hope to see you in the third session. And I was very happy to face all those questions, and I was also more than happy to answer any question from anyone, whether related to Asia Rugby or to my home union, because I'm still the vice president of United Arab Emirates Rugby Federation. So thank you, Daniela, for the time. All the best to everyone, and see you soon.
Thank you very, very much, Mr. President. I think with your last comments, if you wanted to get anybody emotional on this Tuesday, you definitely got it right. That was really beautiful. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, everybody that tuned in, everybody that asked great questions. We will be letting you know when our third session will be happening. So if you have any burning questions, get those questions ready. Thanks for supporting Asia Rugby. And we will be back again with a live town hall with President Qais Al Dhalai.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.